Hi, everybody. We're back. I don't know what happened in the last hour there. The computer froze up at the very end, so I wasn't able to finish listening to Akhla. But she assured us that there would be awesome stuff to eat in Saudi Arabia, so that sounds good. And she's back. All right, good. We have some of the same people joining the class. This time we're going to be working on our pronunciation. I found a few short, brief articles that we're going to read, and I tried to find some articles that would use what we call more academic English. So a lot of times in the Verbling classes, we are doing conversational English, where we are just, I'm asking questions and you're answering questions about life and what you think about things. But when we read academic English, sometimes there's a lot more words that are more difficult to pronounce. Even though you might actually know what they mean, sometimes they're difficult to get out of your mouth correctly because usually they're longer. So I said this before in my other pronunciation classes. In English, I'm going to write here in the chat, we have some words that just have one letter, then we have some words that have two letters, and then we have three, and then we have four, and it goes on, and we can get up to some pretty, I think the longest English word has 28 letters or something like that. So what makes something more difficult to pronounce and to say and to understand and read correctly in English is oftentimes the length of the word. If the word is longer, you get kind of stuck. So you might know how to pronounce the beginning of the word pretty good, but then you have to keep going with the word. And the best way to work on that is to read, and to read out loud, and also to listen to a native speaker reading something out loud so that you can hear how that word is being read, and then that can be the model. You use that as your model, and then you try to copy that person and try to have that. So that's kind of an introduction to what we're going to be doing in this hour. And let's see, we have quite a few people watching, and I think we are already full in the time that I was talking there. So we're going to get started quickly so we have time to read and practice our pronunciation. I'm going to introduce myself, and then you can introduce yourself. Even if you were in the last class, please introduce yourself again and tell us your name and what country you're in, where you're from, and then we will get started with the reading. I already put up the link to the Google Doc, but I will put it again in the chat here. If you're going to watch, you want to just watch, it'll be, you'll have a chance to listen to everybody reading, and you can also go and follow along in the Google Doc, and I will also put it on screen share here so that you will also be able to see what people are reading when they're reading it. So if you're watching this broadcast later, you'll be understanding what we're talking about. Okay, so let me just explain how the Verbling classes work, because I know we have some new people here, and so if you want to join the class, you usually need to come right on time at the hour, because a new class starts every hour. So come in class right at the time, or a minute or two before, and then when the teacher starts the class, you'll see the join class button, and that you click on that, and then you'll get into the Google Hangouts, and that's right down there below. Everybody's in there, and that allows you to speak. If you're not going to speak, if your microphone doesn't work, or you have a bad connection, or there's a lot of sound or something, I might have to kick you out. And the only reason why I'm doing that is because I want people to be able to participate who want to participate, and we often have a lot of people waiting to see if they get into the class. So I'm not angry with you, cousin, but don't click on the join class button unless you want to speak. Okay? So how about we start over here with Akhla? How about you introduce
Yeah,
yourself again? Hi there again.
yeah, hi. This is Ahla from Saudi Arabia. And Lisa, did you hear my answer in the last class?
I heard most of it, but then it's kind of just cut off. So I didn't
Oh,
hear the last part. I heard that you said if we come to Saudi Arabia, that there's lots of delicious foods
yeah,
to try. And yes, and
yeah,
you're making me hungry.
yeah. I was so excited when I was speaking, and all of a sudden I noticed I was talking to myself.
I know that technology is sometimes crazy because you think you're talking and all of a sudden it's locked up or something. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you for that. All right, and Alexby, are you there?
Yeah.
Alexby?
What
I
is
turn up your mic a little bit or speak into it. I can't hear you very well.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi everybody. I'm Alisby and
Where are you from?
from Colombia.
Alexby, where? Oh, from Colombia. Okay, I didn't hear you. Okay, and Ernesto, you're back with us. Why don't you introduce yourself, please?
Um, Hi guys, my name is Ernesto and I'm from Peru, Lima.
Lima. Okay, and Hassan, how are you doing?
Hi, my name is Ghassan. I'm from Iraq, and I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, there's a little bit of a feedback on your microphone. I don't know when you started
That's
talking.
the AC. That's the air conditioner. It's too
Oh.
cold here.
Oh, is it the heater then?
Yeah, I turn it off when I speak.
Okay. Well, make sure you stay warm. Okay, Yulisa, how are you?
Hi Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Hello guys, my name is Yulisa and I'm from Peru.
Okay, two from Peru. Mustafa.
Yes,
Hi.
my name is Mustafa from Egypt.
All right, and Samir, you're back too
Hello, Samir from living in Syria. Sorry.
in Syria. Okay, and Tariq.
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Tariq from Yemen.
And we have Valentine. Are you there, Valentine? Valentine Garcia, are you there? Maybe your microphone isn't working. Check your microphone to see, and then you can start talking to see if it works. Okay? Otherwise, if we can't get it to work, okay, you got it to work, Valentine?
I hear you, but do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you now.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
The sound is terrible. Yeah, it's really very difficult. I'm here in Brussels and glad to be with you. I hear myself.
Yeah, it's okay. I hear it. Okay. Where are you from? You're from Belgium?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Brussels? Great. All right, so we have lots of different continents represented here, different countries. That's great. Okay, today I wanted to work on pronunciation. I want to help you guys improve your pronunciation. And the way that I want to do that is to be reading something and working on some words. So I found these different articles. They're kind of short articles, and I tried to find some that had different topics so that we can work with different vocabulary. They come from the internet, and like this first one comes from Fortune magazine, another one comes from CNN and places like that. So we have some different topics, and we're going to take turns reading, and then I'm going to read also after you read. And then, actually, I think I'm going to change it around today. I'm going to read first, and then I'm going to have you read, and then we'll talk about that. So that way you have the model first, and that you'll be able to listen to, and then we'll have you read, and I'll make any corrections that I hear. Also, in these classes, it's really important for you to speak up so that you get what you want out of this hour, And that means if you have a question, please ask the question. Don't be shy. Just speak up and ask your question or write it over in the Verbling chat, and I will try my best to answer it for you. Okay? So let's start. You guys can read along while I read out loud, and then I'm going to call on people to read out loud as well. All right, so this one comes from Fortune Magazine. This is the part I'm reading right now. This morning, Nikkei and the Wall Street Journal have reports out claiming that Apple, AAPL, that's the stock market designation for Apple, cut orders from its iPhone parts suppliers in half for the January through March quarter due to weaker than expected demand. Presumably, as a result of the news, Apple's stock is down nearly 3% so far. Okay, so Akhala, you want to start reading that one paragraph that I just read, please?
Okay, the same paragraph?
Yeah, just read that same paragraph.
Okay, Fortune Magazine. This morning, Nikkei and the Wall Street Journal have reports out claiming that Apple AAPL cut orders from its iPhone parts suppliers in half for the January through March quarter due to weaker than expected demand. Presumably, as a result of the news, Apple stock is down nearly 3% so far.
Good. Great. The only thing I would work on right there is just a little bit stronger, presumably. So.
Presumably, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that means you presume something like you expect. Okay. If you don't understand any of the words, you can ask, but this class is mostly for pronunciation and practicing the reading. But of course, if you want to know what something means, by all means, ask. Okay, so I'll read this one, and then Alexby, I'll ask you after I finish. You can read it. What's the basis for this? This is where things get murky rather quickly. Both companies cite anonymous sources. Nikkei claims Apple had originally expected to sell 65 million iPhones during the quarter, while the journal doesn't offer any figures at all, but does go on to speculate that iPhone 5 sales may be waning thanks in part to competition from Samsung and Google. Okay, Alexby.
What's the basic for this? This is where things get murky rather quickly. Both companies cite anonymous sources. Nikkei claims Apple had originally expected to sell 65 million iPhones during the quarter, while the journal doesn't offer any figures, but does go on to speculate that iPhone 5 sales may be waning in part to competition from Samsung and Google.
Okay, good. The only one I heard there would be Apple. I think you said Apple. That would be more like a long A sound. So the short A sound is the beginning. Apple. Okay? Yeah, good.
Okay.
All right, here we go. In a report this week, Wells Fargo's Maynard warns not to put too much stock in the news. 1, order cuts are not new news, and 2, the likelihood that Apple would have shipped 65 million iPhone 5s for the March quarter would have been minuscule, in our opinion, given the large implied sequential ramp into what is typically a seasonally slower quarter, and with less new career launches given the acceleration in the December quarter. 65 million would imply a 41% sequential increase based on our December forecast of 46 million. All right, that was a mouthful. Ernesto, you wanted to give that a go? Okay.
In a report this week, Wells Fargo's Maynard warns not to put too much stock in the news. 1, order cuts are not new news, and 2nd, the likelihood that Apple will have shipped 65 million iPhone 5s
fives.
for the March quarter would have been minuscule.
Minuscule. Yep.
Minuscule. In our opinion, given the large implied sequential ramp into what is typically a seasonally slower quarter, and with less new careers launches, given the acceleration in December quarter, 65 million will imply a 41 sequential increase based on our December forecast of 46 million.
Right.
Teacher,
Okay.
please.
Yes.
When you say read quarter, da or da?
Which word?
Quarter.
Quarter? Quarter.
Quarter.
Yeah.
Da or da?
Quarter with a T.
T.
Yeah. Quarter. Yes. It's of course quarter. It's written with a T, and you'll hear it more like a D sound. So it really depends on who's saying it. It can be both. So it could be quarter, or quarter. Sounds like a D. It kind of sounds like this, actually. I'll write it in the chat. It kind of sounds almost like that. Quarter.
Yeah.
Quarter.
Yeah. Yeah. So like this is a quart. That's a measurement, and then so we say it with a harder T at the end. Quart, like a quart of milk. But when we add the ER, it's quarter is the name, but mostly you'll hear it like quarter, with like a D sound. Quarter.
Okay.
So you hear the difference?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. The only thing I was thinking here too is say percent, 41%. That sign there, percent. And it's good. You can say 1 or 2, or like you said second. That's fine too. First or second, even though you have just the numbers there for you. So that was good. Ghassan, I'm gonna read this next one, and then you can read after I read. So for context, Apple sold just over 35 million iPhones during the same time last year. So for the company to so grossly miscalculate and project almost double the number of iPhone sales this quarter seems pretty uncharacteristic of Tim Cook and crew. As Instapaper creator and Marco Arment wrote on his blog today, that would indeed be big news, but it sounds unlikely given Cook's track record. Okay, I think they had a typo there. I'm just going to take that out. Okay. Okay, Ghassan, how about you read 4 up there?
Okay. For context, Apple sold just over 35 million iPhones during the same time last year. So for the company to so grossly miscalculate and project almost double the number of iPhone sales this quarter seems pretty uncharacteristic of Tim Cook and crew. As Instapaper creator Marco, I think the and was there.
Yeah, I deleted it. Yeah.
That was the okay thing. Yeah. As Instapaper creator and Marco Arment wrote on his blog today, that would indeed be big news, but it sounds unlikely given Cook's track record.
Good. All right, I think everything sounded good there. All right, the next paragraph is, better than speculating, Apple may have made a huge snafu based on anonymous sourcing. Wait until January 23rd when the company reports earnings for the last quarter, a period that includes the holiday season. Okay, Yulisa, how about you read that one for us?
Okay. Better than speculating, Apple may have made a huge snafu based on anonymous sourcing. Wait until January 23rd when the company reports earnings for the last quarter, a period that includes the holiday season.
Right. Okay. Can you say that again? Snafu?
Snafu.
Yeah.
Snafu.
Yeah, right. There you go. So a lot of Spanish-speaking people say that the E sound first, like snafu. So when you just see the S, try to not put that in there. Just put s, like start with this. Snafu. Yeah.
Snafu.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's common. Okay. All right, good. All right, do people kind of understand that article? What were they talking about there? About Apple. What happened with Apple? Ghassan, do you know? Oh, we lost Ghassan. Mustafa,
Yes.
what's happening with the iPhone?
With what?
What is happening with the iPhone?
The iPhone is more. Sorry.
Here.
I think,
Yeah? Akhana.
yeah, I think there was this rumor about the iPhone company which made the stock to come down or to
Yeah.
lose.
Right. So the main thing that we read about in this, just so you guys have a little bit of an understanding, even though you guys are doing really well with the pronunciation so far, I just want to make sure you understand a little bit what this article is about. So they had originally expected to sell 65 million iPhones during the quarter. So they're thinking that they sold less. So maybe they only sold something like 46 million or something. So basically it's just a short article saying that iPhone sales may be down or waning, which means going down. And so the stock seems to be going down as well because people aren't sure that Apple's going to make as much money as they thought they were going to make. Okay? All right, here's a completely different one that is also about money and business stuff. So Mustafa, how about I read this first and then you'll read after me.
Okay.
It'll be this one here. The U.S. federal budget nearly broke even last month. Compared with deficits of $120 billion in October and $172 billion in November, December's $260 million is very low. For the 2013 fiscal year to date, 3 months, the federal government has spent $292.4 billion more than it has collected. Okay. Mustafa?
The U.S. federal budget nearly broke even last month, compared with deficits of $120 billion in October and $172 billion in November. December's $260 million is very low. For the 2013 fiscal year to date, through months, the federal government has spent $292.4 billion more than it has collected.
Good. Okay. That sounded good. All right, the next one. The good news is that the federal deficit to date in the fiscal year is 9% lower than the first 3 months of fiscal year 2012. Last year, the federal budget actually ran a surplus in April, income tax time, and September, end of the fiscal year. Okay, who's up next? Here we got Samir. How about you read that part, the good news?
Oh, okay. The good news is that the federal deficit to date in the fiscal year is 9% lower than the first 3 months of fiscal year 2012. Last year, the federal budget actually ran a surplus in April, income tax time, and September, end of the fiscal year.
Okay, it's good. The one thing I heard was this word here is April. So it's kind of funny because the other one is apple, and it starts the same with an A, but this word is April, so it has a long vowel sound. Yeah, April. English can be confusing. Okay, the next one here. December receipts of $269.5 billion represent the largest total in 15 months. And December outlays of $269.8 billion is much lower than total outlays in either October or November. Okay. Tariq, how about you?
Yes, December receipts of $269.5 billion represent the largest total in 15 months, and December outlays of $269.8 billion is much lower than total outlays in either October or November.
Okay, good. Thank you. It's not. Oh, let's see. The only thing I heard there was represent. December. Yeah, represent. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Represent. Yeah. It's not out of the question that January's collections will outpace spending as the payroll tax increase takes another bite of 2% out of workers' paychecks. Interest on the public debt totaled $95.7 billion in December, more than 1/3 of total receipts. That deserves a little thought. Okay, Valentin, you want to read that last paragraph for us, please? That one. Does it work, Valentin?
Yes. Yes.
Valentin, is your microphone working? Because I'm not hearing you.
Okay, I'm here. Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay, got it.
It seems so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
I'm here.
Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead and read that paragraph there.
Okay. But I don't see the paragraph.
Oh,
It's not.
Yes.
It's not. Oh, it's gone again. Oh. It's not out of the question that January's collection will outpace spending as the payroll tax increase takes another bite of 2% out of workers' paychecks. Interest on the public debt to tail $95.7 billion in December, more than 1/3 of total receipts. That deserves a little thought.
Yes.
Oh.
Good.
Wow.
Is that hard?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, well, you did a great job. The only thing I heard was totaled.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sorry.
oh, don't be sorry. It's okay. Totaled. You can work on that one. And the rest is good. So basically, that's the end of that article. Like I said, these are just short articles. This is all talking about the United States federal budget. Does everybody know what a budget is? Yulisa, what's a budget?
The income. Okay,
a budget is
the amount of money that they can spend.
Yeah. Okay, Andre, you just joined us. Hi. Were you going to tell us what a budget is?
The money.
It has to do with money. Yeah, so in the government, they get money. That's called income, and that comes from taxes. And then they spend money. And that's the outflow or the those are the expenses. And so what the federal budget is they're trying to, a budget is a plan, actually. A plan for spending money and for how much money you come in.
Financial plan.
Yeah, it's like a financial plan, exactly. So Yulisa, it's a little bit more complicated. It's, for example, if you have a budget at home, then you have to put in what your income is and how much what your expenses are, and that will be your budget. So you'll say, oh, say you get $2,000 a month from your job. That's your income, and then what goes out is your expenses. So your budget is talking about your plan for what you're going to do with your money. So in the United States, what's happening is we are having too much money going out. So that's what that word is, the deficits. So if you spend more money than you bring in, you have a deficit. And now usually people can't really do that. If you don't have enough money, you can't buy things unless you buy things on credit cards, and then you'll have credit card debt, for example. But the government keeps doing it. They borrow money. So this article is basically just talking about the different amounts of money that are coming in and going out, and that they say that the good news is that the federal deficit is lower. So they're saying that what we owe is lower, but the problem still is that the U.S. government is spending more money than it brings in through taxes. So the public debt is $95.7 billion. So that's how much money the U.S. government owes to people who it borrowed money from, which is usually the U.S. citizens through things like bonds and stuff, and also other governments. Okay, so that's what that was kind of just talking about. Budgets and deficits and things. All right, this one is talking about Coca-Cola and obesity. Does everybody understand the word obesity?
Yes.
Tariq, what's obesity?
It's a
I don't
sickness.
know.
You don't know?
It's a sickness.
A sickness? What kind of a sickness?
Because the sugar. You are fat.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. So obese people are
Can
very
I say it's a food
overweight.
disorder?
Yes, Ernesto. So obesity is talking about people gaining weight, too much weight. Too much weight.
Easily.
Yes. What did you say, Mustafa?
The state of being excessively overweight.
Yes. Yes. Fatness. You can't really say fatness, but fatness. Just say fat, yeah. Or
Extremely fat.
overweight is a more polite way to say it.
It's so bad to the heart.
Yes, and some people think that it's very bad for your heart to be overweight.
Heart
Okay.
problems.
Yes. Andre, what you just joined us. What country are you from?
Brazil.
Oh, okay, Brazil. All right, good.
And we love Coca-Cola.
Okay, well let's see what's happening. What does Coca-Cola say? All right, I'm gonna read this paragraph, and then I'll let you read, Andre. Okay?
Yes. Sure.
Okay. In the run-up to this year's Super Bowl, soft drink maker Coca-Cola Company, and the NYSE stands for the New York Stock Exchange, KO. You don't have to say that though. Will run advertising highlighting the company's low-calorie beverages and pointing out that consuming too many calories of any kind can lead to obesity. The ads are aimed at deflecting some of the pressure on the sugar drinks industry, which is threatened by caps on the size of drinks vendors will be allowed to sell, and by proposed taxes on sugared beverages. Okay, Andre, go ahead.
Yes. In the run-up to this year's Super Bowl, soft drink maker Coca-Cola Company will run advertising highlighting the company's low-calorie beverages. It points out that consuming too many calories of any kind can lead to obesity. And the ads are aimed at deflecting some of the pressure on the sugar drinks industry, which is, I don't know, frenzy.
Which is, okay, go ahead.
Which is by
Threatened?
caps on the size of drinks vendors will be allowed to sell and be proposed tax on
Sugared beverages. Yeah.
sugar beverages.
Yes. Okay, good. So some of these is highlighting, advertising, yeah, and deflecting.
Deflecting.
And this one, aimed.
Aimed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, so the next one I will read. I think Akhala was going to have to go, so maybe somebody else will join in. There might be the green button available to join. Oh, Cousin got in. Cousin, why do you keep coming in? Cousin doesn't talk, so Cousin can't stay. So somebody else can stay, because there should be more people. I see that more people are watching. If you want to come in and you want to talk, then come in by clicking on the green join class button, okay, if you want to join us. All right, New York City is set to enforce a cap on the size of drinks for sale later this year, and as many as 20 cities and states have considered imposing taxes on sugared drinks. Coca-Cola, Pepsi Company Incorporated, and a beverage lobbying group spent around $35 million on lobbying efforts to fend off these taxes in 2010, and were on track to top that spending in 2011. Spending in 2012 is not available yet. Okay, so let's see. Yulisa. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Yulisa, how about you read for us New York City there?
Okay. New York City is set to enforce a cap on the size of drinks for sale later this year, and as many as 20 cities and states have considered imposing taxes on sugar drinks. Coca-Cola, Pepsi Corporate Company, and a beverage lobbying group spent around $35 million on lobbying efforts to fend off these taxes in 2010, and were on track to top that spending in 2011. Spending in 2012 is not available yet.
Okay. Yet.
Yet.
Yeah, there you go. And lobbying.
Lobbying.
Mm-hmm.
Lobbying.
Yeah, good. Okay, hi Mariana, you just joined us. Hi there.
Hi, good evening. How are you?
Good. So I'm going to read this paragraph, and then I'm going to ask you to read it after I do, okay? We're just working on our pronunciation.
Okay, could you please share with me the link?
Yeah, oh sure, yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, did it work? Try the other chat here, because the Verbling chat didn't work.
Yeah, I mean.
Ah. Okay, let me try it. Oh, it got it. Okay, you got it. Oh, Junaid was able to do it, but I wasn't. Good thing Junaid's here. Okay, Junaid put it in the Verbling chat. Thank you, Junaid. Do you see it now?
Yeah, I see the document, but I'm not sure what phrase I have to read.
Okay, I'm going to read it first. It's the bottom one where Coca-Cola, Pepsi Company, and Dr. Pepper. That one.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Dr. Pepper Snapple Group, Inc. have seen most of their growth in the recent year from low-calorie drinks, including sport drinks and bottled water.
Mm-hmm.
Coke's new ad campaign could just be acknowledged that fact.
Okay, good. All right, I'm gonna read it now so everybody can listen. Coca-Cola, Pepsi Company, or PepsiCo is what they call it. Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Dr. Pepper Snapple Group, Inc., or Incorporated, have seen most of their growth in recent years from low-calorie drinks, including sport drinks and bottled water. Coke's new ad campaign could just be acknowledging that fact. All right, so that word here, everybody might want to practice that one, acknowledging. Kind of one of those longer words. Acknowledging. Okay.
Acknowledging.
Yeah, good. So basically, they're just talking about Coca-Cola and these other soft drink makers and these what they are calling sugared drinks. That basically they're going to run an ad during the Super Bowl. Does everybody know what the Super Bowl is? It's for the Super Bowl is for
3rd
football.
February.
American football.
American football, yes. Yep.
3rd February this year.
Okay, February 3rd. Good.
Yes.
Yes. And I live near Seattle, so the Seattle Seahawks played yesterday, but I think they lost. I don't know. But they're a football team. It's American football, not soccer, which most people around the world call football. All right, so they're telling us that that these drinks are getting kind of what we call a bad rap. And that means that people are saying that they might be leading to obesity because of all the sugar in them. And some people want to put a cap on the size. That means they want to tell the company that they can only make a certain size, like a smaller size drink, not like the really big sizes. Okay? All right. So did anybody have any questions about any of the words for pronunciation or for meaning? Anybody have any questions before I move on? Nope. Okay. This one here too is a good one to recent. So it's a C, but it has the S sound. It's a soft C sound. So when you see that word, recent means something that's just happened just a little bit ago. Recent or recently. Okay. All right, and Junaid, welcome back.
Hi Lisa, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Did you have problems with your computer?
Yes. No, I fixed it.
Oh, okay. All right, I was wondering where you had gone.
I missed a lot of your class.
Yeah, well, I was also in California for a little while, so I was on a little bit of a vacation. So.
Oh.
All right, so we're going to continue on. We have this is our last article. It's about cows. And so there's a little bit of a funny one. So I'm going to read this, and then Junaid, I'll have you read it since you just joined us.
Okay.
Okay, let me read first. Let's see. Milk is nice, but it's better with Oreos. Does anybody know what Oreos are?
No.
Cookies.
Okay. Yeah, Oreos. I don't know if do they have them in Peru?
Yes.
Oh, really?
They are delicious. Yes.
Okay. They're the kind of cookies that are like chocolate on the outside, or black. They're black, and then they have like a filling on the inside that's white. So it's interesting kind of cookie, and yes, they're pretty good. Milk is nice, but it's better with Oreos. Turns out cows agree, and lately farmers have been more than happy to indulge them. Corn crops were decimated by a severe drought last summer, pushing prices to a precipitous high. So farmers have had to get creative about what they feed their cattle. Some common solutions: chocolate bars, rainbow sprinkles, gummy worms, and yes, cookies. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Junaid. Read that for us.
Oh my God. Okay. Milk is nice, but it is better with Oreos. Turns out cows agree, and lately farmers have been more than happy to indulge them.
Yes.
Corn crops were decimated by severe drought.
Severe drought.
Severe drought last summer, pushing prices to precipitous. Precipitous high. So farmers have had to get creative about what they feed their cattle. Some common solutions: chocolate bars, rainbow sprinkles, gummy worms, and yes, cookies.
Cookies. Okay. Oh my gosh. So, yes, these are different types of sugary foods. Here, chocolate bars, rainbow sprinkles. Does everybody know what rainbow sprinkles are?
Yep.
No.
No? Okay. I was showing another class the other day. This is the best way. Just go to rainbow sprinkles and then type in go to images, and then you'll see. Does everybody see that? Those are rainbow sprinkles.
Now why they called it rainbow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Many colors. So now they're saying that they're feeding the cows rainbow sprinkles and other things because of the corn crop not being so good. So chocolate bars and gummy worms. Let's find what gummy worms are. I'll show you. It's easier to show you guys a picture than to explain. Gummy worms. You guys know gummy worms? You see those?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can see it.
So it's candy. Basically, they're giving these cows candy. All right. This. All right, I'm going to break this up into 2 paragraphs just for the reading. This has been a brutal year for dairymen, says Jack Ham of Lima Ranch in Lodi, California, who regularly adds stale cookies to the feed trough. Luckily, both beef and dairy cattle can thrive on sweets. That's because their first stomach, or rumen, is loaded with microbes that feast on whatever the animal has eaten. Okay. Woo! Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Let's see. Ernesto, do you want to read that paragraph?
Sure.
Okay. Here you go.
This has been a brutal year for dairymen, says Jack Ham of Lima Ranch in Lodi, California, who regularly adds stale cookies to the feed
trough.
Luckily, both beef and dairy cattle can thrive on sweets. That's because their first stomach, or rumen, is loaded with microbes that feast on whatever the animal has eaten.
Okay, good. So here's a couple of corrections. Trough. That's that word right there. Trough. That's the feed trough is the place where you put the food. It's called a trough. It's like a big, not like a bucket or something, but something big like a bathtub almost. It looks like a bathtub, and they put the food in there, and that's where the cows come. So it's called a trough. And thrive, you fixed that one. And a stomach. So that CH sound there is kind of like a K, actually, in this instance, stomach. And this word here is rumen. That's what you call the first stomach of a cow. It's their rumen. And this is microbes. These are those little things that start eating on the food when it gets into the first stomach. Okay? All right, good. Alexby, I'm going to read and then I'm going to ask you to read. I have a lot of noise in the back. Okay, so here we go. These bugs, they're talking about the microbes, these bugs break large sugar molecules into volatile fatty acids that are absorbed directly into the bloodstream, providing most of the cow's energy and aiding milk production. Almost no glucose escapes the rumen intact, which is why bovines that eat Captain Crunch don't produce pre-sweetened milk. Okay. All right, Alexby.
These bugs break large sugar molecules into volatile fatty acids that are absorbed directly into bloodstream, providing most of the cow's energy and aiding milk production. Almost no glucose escapes the rumen intact, which is why bovines that eat Captain Crunch don't produce pre-sweetened milk.
Yeah. Okay, so here's a few things. So these bugs break larger sugar molecules into volatile fatty acids that are absorbed, and glucose and escapes. And does everybody know what bovines mean? This is the funny sentence right here. So almost no glucose. So that's part of sugar. Glucose is part of sugar, or a type of sugar. No glucose escapes the rumen intact. So none of the sugar gets out of the rumen as sugar. It goes, the rumen, remember, is the first stomach, which is why bovines, so bovines just means cows, that eat Captain Crunch don't produce pre-sweetened milk. So Captain Crunch is a cereal that's popular for some people in the United States. There it is. You see that? So that's sweet cereal. So they're saying if you're feeding the cows this kind of stuff, because it goes first into the rumen, your milk isn't going to come out any sweeter. So that's kind of like a joke. All right.
Mhm.
All right, I'll read this next one, and then Valentin, you can read it after I do. You can take any kind of food and make something out of it, says Jim Olchin, an animal science professor at UC Davis. Sweets are fine as long as they make up a relatively small portion of rations, about a tenth of the 60 pounds of dry feed cattle consume each day. Okay? Valentin, you want to read that? Valentin, this one right here. Do you see it?
Yeah, I'm here first.
Okay.
Okay, let's try. Up. Give me the text, please.
Okay.
I don't see it.
All right.
Yeah. You can take any kind of food and make something out of it, says Jim Olchin, an animal science professor at UC Davis.
Yep.
Sweets are fine as long as they make up a relatively small portion of rations, about a tenth of the 60 pounds of dry feed cattle consume each day, something like that.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah,
but it's still a little bit of a hell on this side. I'm sorry.
Huh. Okay, no, it sounded good to me, and your microphone seems to be working fine. So yeah. Okay, great. So I guess they're saying that it doesn't matter if they're eating sweets as long as it's not too much. So maybe only about a tenth, which would be about 6 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to read this last paragraph here, and then we will have somebody else read it. Okay. Mariano, hold on. Nutritionists help farmers balance snacks like licorice with byproducts, say distillers' grains and grape skins, to find the most nourishing mix for the lowest price. Not what nature intended? Maybe. But Ham points out that he's utilizing pounds of stuff that would end up in landfills, reducing his farm's environmental hoofprint. That's one way to sugarcoat it. Okay. All right, Mariana, you wanted to read?
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Nutritionists help farmers balance snacks like licorice with byproducts. With byproducts, say. Distillers, grains, and grape skins to find the most nourishing mix for the lowest price. Not what nature intended. Okay, maybe. But Ham points out that she's utilizing pounds of stuff that would end up in landfills, reducing his farm's environmental footprint. That's one way to sugarcoat it.
Okay, good. So this has some funny things in here. So nutritionists help farmers balance snacks like licorice. So licorice, does everybody know what licorice is? It's okay. You can have red licorice or black licorice. This stuff right here, like that. It's a candy. So they're finding things that you can mix together to make something that's a little bit nourishing. So they need something that actually might help the cow grow. So they're saying it's not what nature intended. So that's kind of a joke. Maybe the cows are supposed to be eating grass, for example. But Ham points out that he's utilizing, so that means using, pounds of stuff that would end up in landfills. So he's saying that basically his stuff that he's feeding his cows would be thrown away anyways, and so why not use it? And then this last sentence is kind of a play on words. That's one way to sugarcoat it. So does anybody know what it means to sugarcoat something? All right, this will be
Put
the last.
sugar? Something like that?
Yeah, it's actually, if I'm going to tell you something and it's not really probably a good thing, I want to try to tell you in a way that sounds good. So that means I'm trying to sugarcoat it. So he's talking about feeding basically trash, things that are going to be thrown away, to his cows, and he wants you to make it, he wants you to think that he's doing a good thing, that it's a good thing to do this, and so he's sugarcoating it. Yeah. So to make something sound better.
Make something seem more appealing.
Exactly. Make something seem more appealing or better than it really is. So you sugarcoat it. So if you're, say you have a kid or something that's going to come home and maybe he did something wrong and he comes up with a story, he's going to tell a story about it to sugarcoat it so he won't get in trouble so much. So that's a fun word to learn. Okay. Sugarcoat, to make it sweeter than it is. Yeah. Okay, well, class is just about over here. Does anybody have any questions that I can answer before we end this hour of class? Any questions about words or pronunciation?
Byproducts.
Yeah?
Samir?
Byproducts. Yeah. So byproducts are, so when you make something, you have the product. But sometimes when you make something, other things come off of it, and so it's byproducts. So for example, a lot of times when they're making food, like maybe wheat or something, you get the flour, but then you have the chaff that comes off of it. So a byproduct is a product that comes from making something else. Does that make sense? And I think maybe, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and you can look it up in Google. It'll give you a definition and give you some images.
Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa.
Good to see you back there, Junaid. Bye, Julissa.
Bye, Lisa. Take care. Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.